Hello, kids from Unrelated here, and this is Godzilla Singular Point. There's no easy way to describe the plot of Godzilla Singular Point. Monsters start appearing, and our protagonists try to figure out why, how to stop them, and how to stop a catastrophe that is supposed to be happening sometime in the future. I got used to the 3D 2D mashup super quickly, and honestly I think it looks pretty good. Well, the monsters and vehicles anyways. The 3D environments that pop up every now and then always seemed off to me. Rodan style Mega Nulons were great to see. Showa Megara as error message on cell phones. Lots of little Easter eggs. Even a hat of the monster from Rebirth and Mothra too. The end credits alone are just chock full of them. I only picked up on maybe half until I saw this video. Some might be reaches, but considering everything else there, I would be surprised if those really were the intended references. Anguirus' split tail end is back. There really are a lot of references. Since Shin Godzilla, there's been a lot of reuse of old roars, and there's always been reuse altering of old tunes. Roars I'm indifferent about, but a couple of those old songs are redone wonderfully as violin pieces and chants. Much better chants than the ones in King of the Monsters 2019. Oh, and there's also what seems to be a reference to that movie, and one very cool original shot at the end of the final fight. The intro song takes a little bit to get going, but man, I love the guitar and vocal melodies in it. While the majority of stuff is straightforward and borderline serious, there's a lot of visually very cute objects, and I really enjoyed them, especially Pero 2. I wasn't big on terrestrial Godzilla when the design was revealed, but in show, I really enjoyed him. They give him rings he shoots out instead of traditional thermonuclear breath, and it's very cool, unlike, say, Minya's smoke rings. I don't know why some people seem upset about the monster's smaller scale in the show. I mainly hear gripes about Godzilla, who is clearly still a giant monster. Honestly, I think the smaller scale is a breath of fresh air from the movies constantly making him bigger and bigger. Additionally, the versatility of the character is one of the biggest draws, I think. Sometimes he's larger, sometimes he's the hero, sometimes he's flying. Keeps things interesting. Plus, there's certainly some bigger sized kaiju action in the show. This is the type of science fiction I like. The characters are also trying to figure things out alongside the viewer using what seems to me at least solid logic. Lots of talk figuring out details on an unknown particle, monster abilities, DNA, and origin. And I love it. There's some ultra smart AI helping, but they're fine, and at least one I find super cute. The amount of science talk could put off some, especially children, and I'm not saying that all anime is targeted towards kids, but Godzilla Singular Point certainly doesn't seem not to be. The least kid-friendly thing here might be a couple of dead bodies in a spiderweb. In the last episode, one monster is animated in 2D. It doesn't look necessarily bad, it's just out of place and a bit confusing after seeing it and all the other monsters as 3D models throughout the series. I like Pero 2 quite a bit as a companion, but not really as a robot. Maybe if it were a smaller one that could sit in Mei's shoulder or possibly fly around like that little robot guy from Dragon Ball GT. That type of scale. The one in show is bizarre and the comedy of it usually misses. There's something unsettling about seeing a kaiju who seems to be passive towards humans get seemingly killed and lay in a pool of its own blood. Explosions and other sound effects that would usually add intensity to scene generally lack a punch. There's a lot that is derivative of Shin Godzilla, the evolving Godzilla, frozen Godzilla, the bomb drop onto him that initiates a defense mechanism, the laser breath cutting through buildings, the behind the back shot. Sure, there's plenty of callbacks and rehashes throughout, but just the amount for Shin is sort of distracting. The monster fighting isn't too exciting most of the time, especially during the Jet Jaguar spider fights. I kept wanting the show to just go back to the science talk or some other non-fight thing that was going on at the same time. The last one I admit was better, but still nothing amazing. For a show, the pacing is a bit off. Especially early in the series, it didn't have me running back to watch new episodes as soon as they dropped, but as a whole, the pacing is good. It's a steady incline leading up to the finale that eventually had me wanting more and more. The resolve, I don't know, it didn't make a lot of sense to me. I liked how it brought a lot of stuff together, as well as what I'm sure a lot of the audience, including me, wanted to see even if I didn't realize it, but the science fiction I was praising earlier seems to have been mostly skipped over, or perhaps I just stopped getting it. Oh, and I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a sequel tease, which is sort of cool and makes some should have been obvious things make sense, but it also raises a bunch of new questions. Some that I think actually take away from some aspects of the story the show had previously presented. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Second to Shin Godzilla, this is my favorite post-Heisei Godzilla outing. Especially enjoyed it an indescribable amount more than other shows like the Hanna-Barbera one, Godzilla, Godzilla the series, and Godzilla. It's been 3 years since I bought Godzilla Island and I still haven't actually got around to trying that one, so I can't comment on it, but I'm guessing it wouldn't match up to Singular Point anyways. Would definitely recommend. As always, thanks for watching, and a big thanks to all the kind people who have watched this channel over the years. I appreciate each and every one of you who have subscribed, liked, commented, or even just watched one of my videos. I hope you enjoyed this review. See you on the flip side.